So I pulled these components out of my car, and as you can see, they are nasty with dirt, age, need to be cleaned, and they also have been discolored. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to restore this piece. This is the seatbelt warning light that's attached to the headliner between the two sun visors with the rearview mirror attached here. So I'm going to first try to wipe it up and clean it and see if I can remove this electrical component and work to see if I can actually restore this to its original color. It looks like it might have been a little bit lighter, but my car was smoked in with one of its previous owners. I'm the fourth owner. What I think is cool is if you look the driver's side, you can see the seatbelt, but you can't see the warning on the passenger side. But if you turn it, you only see the passenger side, not the driver, which I think is pretty cool. So my first step is going to be to try to see if I can remove this electrical component from this plastic piece here. It looks like there's a Phillips screw here, and I'm hoping that that will expose some additional screws holding it on below. And yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just wanted to show this to anyone who's interested. There's a Phillips screw. Where'd it go? I had it sitting right here. Oh, here it is, right here. There's one Phillips screw that's holding this piece in. And actually it looks like this from the top. And this piece that's sticking out here slides into this part. So all you do is when you take the screw out is you tilt it like this and it slides right out. As you can see, there's the two bulbs, there's the flasher element there, and the plug. And then underneath it, you have this plastic piece, and this slides out. And then you have the image and the red color. And that one came apart, this one did not. So the black part is what faces out and the red is facing in. And yeah, so I can then clean these separately and put them back together. But I'm gonna clean this first. And what I watched online was that a lot of the discoloration has to do with overexposure to UV light with the plastic. And they made this plastic with a fire retardant called, I think it was either bromine or bromine or bromide. And overexposure to UV rays is what causes this to change color like this. So what I'm going to be doing, what they discovered, and this all came out in 2008, a bunch of scientists first looked into what was causing the color changes because they were actually using, trying to do it for old computers, like old desktop computers from the 80s and 90s that turned yellow and nasty different shades of color. And so the scientists and chemists figured out what was causing it. And then they also devised how to restore it. And all you do is you buy salon grade hydrogen peroxide. The stuff you buy in a grocery store is 3%, it's in water. Salon grade is 40 or 50%, and it's a cream. And you want a cream or a lotion that you can apply on here with a brush. And you put it, you either cover it with saran wrap or you put it in a Ziploc bag. And so it doesn't evaporate, and you expose it to UV light for 36 hours. So that's what that is there for. I'm going to now wipe this down with Windex to get any nasty crud that's still on here. I'm going to then put some Sally's hydrogen peroxide, which I believe salons use for changing bleaching hair, on it, because I don't know if it's this color because of what do you call it? I mean, it doesn't even match any of this, and this is, even in its discolored state, it's still like a weird color. This may be cigarette tar that's all over it, because the ashtray and the cigarette lighter were directly underneath this. And part of my dashboard's actually melted around where the cigarette lighter and the tape deck are. And so I'm going to set this up and see if this works. and see what happens to this after a certain period of time. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna clean it first, get back on here, and do a little step at a time. Okay, so I cleaned it up using Windex and some cigarette tar did come off. I can't get that stuff off the end of it. I don't know what that is. It might have been there since it was manufactured. I don't know. But I have a sandwich bag size Ziploc bag, so I don't want it to evaporate. And here is my, they usually recommend 40% cream peroxide developer, but I found this 50% on Amazon for like 20 bucks. And I do have to do all the trim on, I have a hatchback, so I got all the plastic paneling that goes all the way back to the rear window. All of that is all yellow and discolored. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in a small cup and brush it onto here. And just the part that's exposed. So all of this along the sides and all this around here. And I'm gonna put it in the Ziploc bag and seal it and then prop it up so it's got that exposed to it for 36 hours. One thing I want to caution you about this, you do not want to expose it to direct sunlight. So when you buy it, if you want to get a smaller bottle, that's perfectly fine. I have to do most of the lighter parts of my interior, including all of this, to get it cleaned up and restored back to the way it's supposed to be. So that's why I bought the gallon. But you might want to buy a smaller one, especially if you have less parts to do. So I'm gonna give it a shot with this. Worst case scenario, it ruins it, I'll paint it black. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Once I get it done and in the Ziploc bag, I'll shoot another video real quick so you can see what it looks like, and then I will get it going. And then we'll be back on here in a couple of days. Okay, so here we have the inside of the back of my hatchback, and as you can see, the plastic here on the sail panel is like a very light color. I mean, it's a yellowed plastic color, and if we look down here, we can see that it's actually supposed to be a bit whiter. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to get some glass cleaner, paper towels, and wipe off this, I'm gonna call it a sail panel here, that goes all the way to around the rear window here on the side. And once I get done cleaning it off, then I am going to well, I'll come right back. Let me clean it off first. Okay, now that I have cleaned off all the cigarette tar and dirt on the plastic here, the next step is for me to now apply the hydrogen peroxide. I want to show you what the napkin looked like. This is from cigarette smoke taking place in the car. So this was, all you did was I sprayed the plastic here with, actually I put it on the paper towel because my windows are tinted, and glass cleaner and window tint do not mix very well. So you don't want to damage your tint. So I recommend spraying the glass cleaner on a paper towel or something and trying to clean it up that way. So as you can see, it's still quite yellow. So the next step is to apply hydrogen peroxide on this plastic here. And then I'm going to put plastic wrap over it to try to keep the moisture in there. And then we're gonna apply a UV light to it for 30 hours and then come back and take a look at it. I'm going to just do a quick video, show you quickly what it looks like with each one of those steps as I complete them. One thing I forgot to mention is you're gonna wanna try to protect your color from the hydrogen peroxide and UV light. So this part here is all covered up by the rear speaker wings. So you don't, or ears, whatever you wanna call it. So it's not really that critical to cover this part up, but this part here will be exposed. And I did an experiment in the house with a broken off piece of one of the old speaker ears. And I applied hydrogen peroxide to it and sealed it up and applied it to the UV light, and the whole situation did mess up the color. So you do want to protect it from dripping, from getting the hydrogen peroxide on it. And also, well, there's not much you can do about protecting it from the UV light, but I did want to bring that up. So make sure you do something to protect it where it may be exposed. Okay, so I got the lotion all over it. You probably cannot see it, probably that way you can. And the reason why I have to do this without taking this trim off is because my plastic is extremely brittle. I tried popping off the other side, and as I started doing it, one of the clips inside, I heard it snap. You can probably see that gap between the molding and the plastic there. So I'm trying to do this in place. So the next thing I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna put plastic wrap across it. Hopefully the plastic wrap will cling to the lotion. Okay, I'm clearly not the best plastic wrapper in the world, but what the plastic wrap is here for is to discourage the evaporation of the hydrogen peroxide while the process is going on. Because you gotta keep in mind, it's gonna be doing this process for about mine is going to be doing it for 30 hours because I have 50%. So now I'm going to get some boxes and set up the UV light. Okay, let's see how we did. So that's what it looks like now. And this is what it looked like before. So this is just, I'm gonna take the plastic off and I'm gonna wipe off the hydrogen peroxide and see how things look. And I will be right back. Okay, so a couple of things I learned from doing this side with a plastic wrap. You don't want the plastic wrap to bunch up, and you don't want to layer too many layers of plastic wrap on top of each other because it will block some of the UV light, therefore kind of making it so you gotta go back over some parts of it again. So when I went to do this side, I made an effort to use larger sheets on the bigger areas and overlap as low as possible. I have this comforter on there because the light's on this side facing my SUV, so I wanted a comforter to block some of that UV light. It may not be as bright as the sun, but it could potentially affect the paint on that side of my vehicle, seeing as it's going to be having the UV aiming at it for 30 hours. So I wanted to protect that vehicle there. So that's why there's a comforter over it, covering up the windows on this side as much as I could. So that's what that's there for. I'm trying to think if there's anything else you guys need to keep in mind when doing this. I don't think so. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment on the video and I'll do my best to get back to you in a timely manner and answer those questions. Thank you for watching.